what Dave Grohl had done from the stage the other night, kind of throwing a little shade at Taylor Swift. She's on her what they call Eras tour. That's the name of her tour. And Dave Grohl starts to talk about how they have had multiple eras, but they're on what he's calling their Errors tour. And he gives you the reason why. Let's take a listen to this. I mean, that's a pretty damning accusation from Dave Grohl to Taylor Swift there.
Just saying.
And so he gets the crowd all whipped up into a fervor over that, right? And that's his job, is to get that crowd in the palm of his hand, and that's how he chose to do that. I am very surprised he calls Taylor Swift. Shocked. A couple of different reasons. Dave Grohl gave one of my favorite quotes about music ever. They asked Dave Grohl once, you know, because he came from punk bands, then he played in Nirvana, then he kind of started the Foo Fighters, he's played with Tom Petty, Dave's done a lot, and he's got a lot of different musical influences. They asked him once, what is your guilty pleasure song? To which Dave Grohl responded, I love this quote, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. If I like it, I like it. I love that. That's what a man says. Fans have to pretend they don't like ballads. Because my rock friends in their black t-shirt don't make fun of me, so I'll call Stansbury a pussy, right? And like, that's kind of how that works. But like, if you're a music fan, you're a music fan. You like all things. He's also gone out of his way to give compliments in the past. Apparently she had a song, he was in close proximity, he was talking about how talented she is, his daughters were fans, he kind of talked about her showmanship, a lot of different things over the years. He's given her plenty of credit. Now, of course, Dave Grohl is being called what? A misogynist. Ladies, and I know this isn't most of you listening, you are not above criticism just because you're a woman. So what that means is every time you get criticized, that doesn't necessarily mean it was misogyny. It can be. It doesn't automatically make it so because you have been criticized. That's a ridiculous way to view the world. So I don't think it was at all. I could be wrong. That doesn't sound like Dave Grohl to me. I've only met the guy twice. I don't know him. So I could be wrong about my assessment on that. I just don't see it. For me, the bigger issue with the call out is this. This is a wild accusation for an artist to make about another artist. It's a little bit more common these days as people like to point the fingers and everybody's doing a podcast, so the minute's got to be filled by something, so everybody's just slinging the mud around. This industry, I know exactly how it works. So I get it, fling the mud around. I get it, I know how it works, but so it's becoming a little bit more common. But to me, as we were talking about books earlier this hour, is this not like a writer accusing another writer of plagiarism? Now, if you're not playing live, you're plagiarizing yourself there, so ultimately it's not quite the same thing as it's not theft from another artist or / creator. To a real interesting territory is, what do most Taylor Swift fans want? Do they want it 100% live, or do they want to see Taylor animated, singing, yes, but let's make sure the songs sound the way I want them to sound? I'm going to guess the younger part of her fan base, and I'm going to guess she has a lot of those, doesn't care either way. I'm here. My parents brought me. Oh my God, it's Taylor. I'm having the time of my life. Thank you so much, Mom and Dad. Right? I think that's probably what's happening there. Beyond that, once you start to get a little older, I think some of like teens and preteen may notice it. Oh my God, she's not singing that. Still won't care. I'm in the building. I'm on Instagram. I'm at Taylor Swift, and none of my friends are. So they're still happy. You start to get older than that. What did I really pay for here? And I think that's how that kind of comes in. Taylor Swift apparently has responded the other night at Wembley. This is when she also brought out, there's every single one of our crew, my band, who's going to be ply for you for 3.5 hours tonight. They deserve this so much. Apparently she does. I was shocked this was Dave. I'm not shocked people are calling Taylor Swift out. I don't know if she's performing 100% live or not. I do know another David Draymond, once upon a time got her back because she was playing live. We'll get to David Draymond's comment. So we have been talking about Dave Grohl calling out Taylor Swift, and the audio here, take a listen, but here's what Dave Grohl said. You see, we call our tour the Errors Tour, because, you know, they'll mess up. That's true. They have had more than 2 eras, the Foo Fighters have. They have stayed at the party for a long time. And more than a few eras as well. Just a couple. That's because we actually play live. They kind of called out Taylor Swift. Now, I was shocked by it because he has been very complimentary of her in the past. Very. And so I was a little shocked by that. Now, Dave has called out other artists in the past for not playing live, so he's staying, I suppose, consistent on that. I'll thank Mark for reminding me about that. This is true. And Dave Grohl, by the way, is like, he always comes off as like one of the world's nicest rock and roll guys. That's one of the reasons why I saw this yesterday. I was like shocked by this, right? Shocked by it. But he is one of the musicians I respect the most. I do. I respect him. When you think about what Dave Grohl did, that guy was the drummer in one of the most influential and well-known rock bands in the history of music. He came out from behind the kit, fronted another band that might be better than Nirvana. That would be an opinion, and some people may vary. I don't know exactly where I come down on that. I'd have to really listen to Nirvana's whole catalog again. But what cannot be debated is this. Foo Fighters have given you more art. They've given you more. That. There was the, he doesn't believe in guilty pleasure songs. Just because I'm a rock dude, metal doesn't mean I don't like pop music. He has said it plenty of times. If I like something, I like it. I love that quote. Because too many people of the black t-shirt mafia, I can't have feelings, otherwise I'm a pussy! Right? Like those idiots that ruin literally everything and gatekeep literally everything, they're the worst. And Dave Grohl is not one of those. And so I have always respected him. I was shocked he called this out. But he has done it with artists in the past. It seems to be something that upsets him. 625. And she's right about this. And we hadn't gotten to it yet. But the word on the street is this. Dave Grohl's daughter called out Taylor Swift's use of private planes while being pro-planet and all this other stuff. And welcome to a young girl kind of coming into her own and thinking she knows everything. I'm talking about Dave Grohl's daughter. I guess you could make that argument about Taylor Swift too. And you know, wants to get, you know, how she feels about things out, express yourself. Everybody is encouraged to do so these days, and that's fine. And so apparently she's done this. So what people are saying here is Dave Grohl's looking to move the backlash off of his daughter and onto him. Now that, I don't know if I believe. Weirdly, this isn't important for you, but I'm really having a serious bout of deja vu in here right now. It's really weird. I don't know if I believe that. But I believe it way more than the other conspiracy about this I saw yesterday. And it's not really a conspiracy. This is the new Staples Easy Button. Doing it for clicks, doing it for the clout. Have you seen Taylor Swift shows? So she doesn't need it. The Foo Fighters have been out here 30-some years, and they're still selling well. So they don't need it. By the way, a lot of people are pulling out some of these concert photos from the Foo Fighters show where he was doing this, and they're pointing out empty seats. None of those seats are in front of the stage. They're all behind it, where you can't see anything. Certain artists don't sell those tickets. Foo Fighters are no longer selling those tickets. However, once upon a time they did. You ever see that video of 2008 when they played Wembley and every last ticket in there was sold? So they could pull the crowds Taylor was pulling at some point. I don't think they would do it today, because I don't think any of their last couple of singles have been really good. They've been okay, but like the Glass isn't great, it's just kind of okay. right? But welcome to it. They've been out there 30 some years now. That's going to happen. But trying to pretend like Dave Grohl is trying to grasp at his relevancy is just, I mean, guys, come on. Too many of these arguments are too easy. I hate this about the internet all the way around now. Like, if you don't like The Boys this season now, it's automatically, did you just find out they're making fun of you? No. I knew they were making fun of conservatives in the first season. It's running its course. That's it. It didn't get woke. It didn't get worse. It didn't get this. It's kind of running its course. Still like it? Do I like it as much as the first season? No. But that's true of 90% of the shows I've seen. But if you tell anybody online, oh, I don't know if I like this. Oh, it's because you're all right. You ever notice this? I always tell you, America pretends to give you options, baby, but you don't have it. Everything comes down to two. Red, blue, Democrat, Republican, Coke, Pepsi, and arguments online now. If you don't like something, it's automatically because you're this, you're MAGA, you're this, or if you're in support of it, well, of course, I mean, you're a libtard and blah, blah, blah. And so, like, it's only two things all the time. I absolutely hate that about what the internet has done to the world. That's just a little sidetrack. I'm confused because David Draymond actually said the complete opposite thing about Taylor Swift at one of his concerts. Took some grief from his audience for saying it. I have that for you. Let's take a listen to that.
Hey, don't forget, Taylor Swift still kicks ass. No, she does. F*** you. Don't you boo her.
No, I like that because he thinks that. And he's willing to stand up there on that stage and tell people that. Because guess what? Doesn't care what you think. I know you don't care what anybody thinks, but you want everybody to change their behavior when they find out what it is you do think, even though you don't think anybody should care about what anybody thinks, but I'm unhappy about this, so change your behavior. I've said forever, all you're doing is telling on yourself. Because you care so much about what other people think that it does change your behavior, so you assume everybody else is going to be like that. Not everybody else. And David Draymond's immovable on this.
You know what? I will stand up and applaud any pop artist that gets up on stage and sings live.
I wouldn't put the qualifier in. Plenty of rock artists, metal artists have been phoning it in forever. I saw Jeff Tate from Queensryche in 2007. I know for sure because it was Maxwell and I sitting there together at the show. That man didn't sing a single word in that microphone all night. Not one goddamn word. This is a problem across music. It's not a pop artist problem. I didn't necessarily like that qualifier.
And plays the guitar live in front of a whole group of thousands of girls and guys, young fans. Don't talk about Taylor Swift. She's for real. And she's making sure that an entire generation of new music fans understand what it means to actually play music live.
So he's given her the credit for playing all live. This is not necessarily as recent as what Dave Grohl said. So I guess the part of this that I haven't mentioned, the variable that could be true is once upon a time, Taylor was doing a little bit more of her show all live. And these days, she's doing too many of them. She kind of feels like, oh, I don't want to Celine Dion this voice. Let me make sure I can hold on to this a little bit. I think that could be true too. Dave Grohl stepping up, calling out Taylor Swift out of character for him. I like the argument he's trying to protect his daughter. Because that's exactly the way Dave Grohl comes off to me. 9 a.m. is New Shirt Tuesday. I have new stuff from Ghost for you. Their new song, The Future is a Foreign Land. Also have new Brantley Gilbert and Ashley Cook teaming up for Over When We're Sober. And Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift teaming up for a song called Us. Taylor Swift has been at the center of some conversations for us this morning. Well, because Dave Grohl had called out Taylor Swift at one of his shows the other night, talking about how the Foo Fighters play live and insinuated she does not.
So we like to call our tour the Errors Tour. We've had more than a few errors, and more than a few errors as well.
Dave Grohl's daughter had called out Taylor Swift's use of private plane. About Save the Planet, make sure you vote for this, and she got everybody all riled up about the patriarchy the other night. And let's not forget about all the help Blake Shelton gave you early on in your career. A little bit of the patriarchy kind of took you from of nowhere, playing literally in the parking lot in front of 6 people to the world. Now, your talent for sure is baked into that scenario. For sure it is. But there are plenty of talented people right now who didn't get that. Right? So, like, maybe dial it down a touch, Tay-Tay. I mean, maybe just a... So we have been talking about it. And it really... This seems to, again, be a little bit of the playing live at the show thing is what I'm talking about. This seems to be another one of these things that is generational. That the older you are, the more you're like, no, dude, you plug in, you play. I came here, I'm looking for the live thing. Other people are like, nah, man, like, I just came to have a good time. I want to hear the songs I know. I want a little bit of a performance. I want a little bit of a show. And again, man, I grew up, you know, I was born in the mid-'70s. I grew up pretty much in the 80s, early 90s and the like. And everybody, and I don't know about everybody, but more than a few of you know I'm a big Kiss fan. Now, back in the day, Paul Stanley had a great, and I mean great voice. Last, I don't know, 20-some years, I don't want to call it bad. It can be spotty. The Crazy Nights tour, and he was, and I mean, unbelievable good. And you could tell he's singing live because of the errors and the mess ups, and he says the wrong city in the stadium he's in, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff, right? But over the years, they've started to switch back to some backing tracks because he does suffer some of the vocal. Also, over the last handful of years, some of the set list was swapping all songs out and moving more Gene stuff in so he could carry some of that load. It didn't bother me on the farewell tour. I just wanted to go see. It's like, all right, I'm done. This is it. I think they're done. Gene's still out there doing some stuff, but I still maintain one of them is sick. But I wanted to go, wanted to put it away, and it was clearly backing tracks. They weren't even hiding it. Like, literally, they were standing there as stuff was playing. Gene's Eye Black wasn't even all done. I mean, they phoned that show in. And I mean, phoned it in. And that's all right. I've seen him 15 times. I got what I was looking for there. But more and more bands are doing this. And Eddie Trunk is one of these guys that's kind of up in arms about it and kind of feels like it's you being ripped off. And I guess it's all on how you want to look at it. If you leave that venue that night after having a great time and got what you wanted, does it matter? I think lip syncing and using backing tracks are similar. They're different ultimately in the end for me. If you're using a backing track to thick out the sound of it because that's the way it actually sounds on the record because of the way you multi-track recording sessions, then okay, I kind of like it. If you're relying on it because you can't actually do it, looking at you, Vinny, then we kind of have a problem with that. Then it's all of a sudden like, you can't actually do this, which that becomes then a bummer. A little bit of an aid, I have less of an issue on. I don't normally go overboard over celebrity death, and I don't plan on going overboard on this one, but it did just happen this morning, and I'm just coming to this information over the last couple of minutes. But a man known as Shifty Shell Shock there, has died at the age of 49. Now, most of you don't know who Shifty Shell Shock is, but you will know this the moment I play it. You know that, though. Remember that one? They might be one of the biggest one-hit wonders of all time, right? The CD had a chick like with a sucker in her mouth on it. Right from that. So Shifty Shell Shock has passed away. Elise Schaefer at Variety.com telling us that the frontman of rap rock band Crazy, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner Shell Shock, whose birth name was Seth Binzer, died at his residence on Monday. A cause has not yet been disclosed. They go into the background of Crazy Town, and I'm not sure anybody cares about that. I don't want to, I should know, I'm going to speculate, but what I meant to say there is I shouldn't probably speculate, but the guy has notoriously had a long and torrid history with drugs. They have been thrown out of bars, they've been thrown off, dude, crazy, this is crazy about Crazy Town. Do you know they were thrown off an Ozfest for partying too much? Crazy Town out-partied some of the bands on Ozfest, and Ozfest, we were like, dude, we got to get you out this tour. Like, this is a problem. They became a problem. Now, it wasn't just the partying, it was what they were doing when they were high on drugs and alcohol, disturbing other people. It's just hilarious to me that when that was going on, when that song was hot, that crazy town of all people are out powdering the rock stars of the day. Get your team signed up for the Stansbury Cup, our golf outing, July 24th, Raintree Golf and Event Center. A fantastic host for us last year. Can't wait to be back there this year. That sign-up sheet is active now at WRQK.com. All right, so I have complained, as many other people have, about the over-acceptance culture that we have. You have to just be okay with everything now. You don't know their struggle, their journey, or their truth, so you don't get to criticize. And I said, well, I don't know about this. I think there's a difference between being tolerant of people and then babying them or catering to them. There's a difference in those two things. I bring it up because New York is going to do something that I, again, thought was satire yesterday because I saw it on the internet. I was like, this isn't a thing. And if it was, they're definitely not going to call it this. But apparently New York and some other states are rolling out fat beach days. Not plus size. Fat beach day is what it's called. Fat. I find that interesting because I thought we weren't supposed to use that word. I was told a couple of years ago, this didn't really pick up the steam people were thinking it would, and because it's ridiculous, that fat is akin to the N-word. I don't think it is. I think those things are very, very different, right? But New York is rolling out a fat beach day to give plus-size people a space to be themselves. Because they need a full page to do it. But fat beach day events are springing up across the entire country. This, of course, is in an effort to fight back against what people will call fat phobia. They're looking to reclaim safe spaces for the community and honor plus-size culture. Oh, you mean deaf culture? That's what you mean, right? It's not culture. Not being able to put a spoon down isn't culture. That's not the same thing as that. Reclaim the beach? I'm sorry, what do we mean when we say reclaim? Because when you go online and you see the beach photos of the late 60s and early 70s, you can't find a fat person on the beach anywhere. So what are we reclaiming? You never had this space, right? So you're looking to take a space, be treated differently than everybody else, and be lifted up on your shoulders, if we could lift you, and you're looking to be celebrated in a way other people will not be. Again, what I've told you about certain groups, this is not true of every group, but what I've told you about some groups is this. They're not after equality. They're not after that. They're after the perceived special they think you have. And that's what this is right here. I do have a quote. We're going through something culturally that is impacting us every day on an individual level and a systemic level. That's Jordan Underwood, the event organizer. We're really trying to open up a space for people to be themselves. Underwood happens to be a plus-size model, artist, and activist. No duh. Like, no duh. Described being bullied for their weight as far back as middle school. Yeah, mine goes back actually before middle school. It was my brother and my cousins who were doing it to me even before classmates were doing it. I've told you before, I kind of look like Chunk from the Goonies when I was a kid. They literally called me that most of my life. They used to throw me out. They used to take me out of the shower, throw me out the front door of the house, and would lock the front door and be like, we're not letting you back in until you do it. And would make me do that stupid dance so they could watch through the windows before they let me back in the house. You know what I didn't let that turn into? A plus-size influencer.